Hello and welcome to Discovering Grayslake, unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Woll, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders, right here where we call home. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. We'd like to thank everybody for listening today. Today we're in a different room at Agora here, but we get to record here from Agora. Agora is a co-working place on the corner of Center Street and Atkinson. So if you're looking for a place to get your business out of the house for a day, for a week, or even a lifelong home, it's a great place over here. So talk to Luke; they'd be happy to help you guys out. So. Today I'm with Julie Jason. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Yes. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk a little bit about the farmers market.
Okay.
I think some people that may have heard of the Grayslake Farmers Market.
I think a few. It's been running for almost 30 years.
30 years.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. All right. So let's do this because there's a lot to talk about with the farmers market. One thing I always try to do is make sure that we state the obvious first of all. So. Why don't you take me back? I want to know how you got involved with the farmers market, first of all.
I became a contract trainer with Chrysler. I trained auto workers.
You trained auto workers?
Yeah, what a story.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah. Oh, listen. You call me feisty, that's where I learned it. When you had to have security walk you into the factory, you got tough. So... I trained auto workers. It was a Monday and Tuesday. I saw a sign-up sheet over at Curves for volunteers, and I went, well, I'm not doing anything for the rest of the week. It was 2006 when I started.
Wow.
And then a couple years later, I became market manager.
Wow.
Got to be careful what you volunteer for.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, volunteering, you have to be careful on how much you know or let people know that you know. Right,
and on our board is Steve Sarich. We have a farmers market board. We're a non-for-profit, which a lot of people don't understand. Steve Sarich started in 2007 after me. He's our market president. And then his sister-in-law started a couple years later, and we've been a great team ever since 2007.
That's okay. 2007. So is that the inception of the farmers market? You guys didn't?
No.
It was already here.
It was already here. As a matter of fact, the chamber had it, and it was across the street over near State Bank of the Lakes.
Oh.
And then Pam Nabar, who used to own This Old Book, started it on Center Street, got village permits and approval, and it all moved to Center Street. At one point, we were just on one side of Center Street, and then... Boy, it expanded to both sides of the center from Whitney to Slusher and then the plaza area.
Wow.
So we've gone from maybe 20 vendors to over 70 stall spaces.
Well, 70 spaces?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, wow, I'm sure that it's been a real adventure of watching things grow.
Well, it's also, we do a management system where we book people, and it's just some days it's like seats on a 747, getting everybody scheduled. For the summer is 17 weeks. So getting those soul spaces and people in the right places, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so with the 17 weeks, when somebody wants to be in the farmers market, do they have to sign up for all 17 weeks? Can you pick weeks that you want to be in?
If you're a traditional farmers market vendor, like our farmers, food suppliers, people that have value-added products. We ask them to come on board for the 17 weeks because we want consistency.
Sure.
So if a shopper comes back the next day, it's like if you move Macy's or Macy's closes for a day. Because we have, for the most part, Our long-term vendors are in the same places, so people, when they arrive, they exactly know where Marva's Greek Oil is.
Right.
So it provides, and then we have some random spaces. We welcome our civic nonprofit groups, business marketers, room for our sponsors.
No, that's nice too, and I'm sure like anything, it's nice for your vendors to have in the same place, but also for the shoppers to know that I'm coming here for this specifically. I know where they're going to be.
It's like cows. If you move something for a cow, they don't know where to go. Literally, I've had we've moved somebody and people have stood in the middle of the street and they're like lost.
That's hilarious. Okay, so who is your, this is just a random question, do you know who your longest running vendor is?
Probably at this time it's Farmer Nick's.
Okay, and what do they do?
He sells meat, pork products.
Oh, fun.
So he's with us. We run a 37-week market. We start, here's the plug, April 12th, and we're going to run all the way through December 13th.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano, and Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
You run through all the way through December.
That's correct.
Are you nuts?
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, that's a bad question. Anybody that knows Julie, I mean, well, that's kind of a rhetorical question about me and you.
Well, it's an interesting thing because we start the fall market. This year is on the 28th, I believe, Saturday. And every year consistently we have about 20 to 25 vendors that sign up for that market. And we have shoppers that come consistently all the way through the end of the market.
That's really cool.
One year, Farmer Nick had his turkey pickup. It's a big day at the market. We had 14 inches of snow in the plaza area, and everybody came, picked up the turkey. We had vendors there. It was kind of fun.
Okay, that is an awesome testament to what you guys are doing. 14 inches of snow and it still happens.
Yeah, Steve and I went into Emil's and had an Irish coffee after that one.
I'm sure that I would have joined you for that for sure.
Well, because people had, we couldn't, there wasn't any snow removal. So you're walking like through the snow.
Right.
People were hauling wagons to pick up their turkeys.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about some fun things that with the market. So as you take over and you're on both sides of Center Street, like one of the favorite things is, and everybody from town, we know that we have the signs out about park. Let's talk about parking, because I know that you love the whole parking.
It's probably our biggest challenge.
Right.
And, we put the no parking signs out there. Market starts at 8 o'clock the morning before.
Right.
And I have people tell me that they didn't realize it was Wednesday. Usually when we have to tow somebody out of there, they're directly in front of the no parking sign.
Of course.
I think it's what people can hope understand is when we have a market our size and we've got 50 vendors coming in with trucks, and for their safety and the safety of our vendors, we need to get those cars off the street.
Right.
And I know that people they don't know where to park, but I think now the village, with expanding all the parking spaces, a lot of places you can go in the back door, shouldn't be an issue.
No, it shouldn't.
But it is.
No. And obviously with anything that we do, and no matter what town you live in, so it's not specific to Grayslake or anywhere, anything that you do like that, whether it's somebody who has a storefront on Center, okay, but you're bringing people to Grayslake to stand in front of their stores also, so that I understand the flip side of that as well.
Yeah, and I heard Linda from...
Oh, you're fine.
It's my doorbell.
Okay, well, now we know when somebody's coming to Julie's house.
There you
So
go.
if you're there, get out.
I heard Linda speak of it too, that something's brewing.
Okay.
So, some of the businesses aren't happy. But to Linda's point in mind, on a really awesome day in the summer, we may have as many as 2,000 people come through that market.
2,000.
And our area is all of Greater Lake County. We have people I've got a group coming in from DuPage that bring people in. So it's an opportunity for people to see downtown Grayslake, the businesses, the landscaping, promote the village.
And the businesses that we have, we're all about, because there is Grayslake in a lot of ways is for some people like a destination to come. I'm sure there's people who come to the market that have never been to Grayslake before, and they might find out about this old book or Emil's or wherever, not anybody specifically,
Yep,
but we're
right.
bringing new people to town.
And actually, that's one of the tasks that the village has charged us with, because they do give us a grant. And so the main focus is bring business into downtown Grayslake.
Wow.
Now with all the great new landscaping, and I've seen in the past couple of years where you've got the Vine and Emil's and Center Cut had live music on Market Day. It's just a party.
Yes. Okay, so I have some friends that have had businesses and storefronts on Center Street, which I think because they're Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
Wednesdays Farmer Market. What a great opportunity to be open and to showcase your business, right?
Exactly right.
I mean, that's what I think anyway.
Put signage out in front of your business. We have no objection if you want to put a table out in front of your business.
Right.
Showcase it.
Right. Prop your door open. Invite
That's
people
it.
in.
That's it. And a few of them do.
Yeah, and I've seen that, and some stay away.
I know this old book has got the Farmers Market Writer of the Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a great idea.
It's a super idea.
Right. And just in case you haven't noticed, it's happening. So if you have a storefront, Grayslake, you might as well use it to your advantage, correct? Okay, so there is one thing that I heard, so then I have to find out like how this works. So was there a format change like after COVID or something where the booths faced outside instead of inside? That's the only feedback that I've heard.
COVID was a nightmare, mainly driven by it was the Farmers Market Bureau with all the rules and regulations. And so the first time when COVID hit, we had to cancel our spring market because the village was not particularly comfortable that we could keep people safe. The last thing any of us wanted on our farmers market board was a super spreader. That's the last thing we needed.
Correct.
So we flipped the tents facing the street to give people a wider pathway to walk through.
Sure.
And we separated the tents. The tents used to be at 12 feet. We made them at 15 feet. Because according to the farmers market rules that were being sent through the health department, the vendors couldn't be any closer to each other than 6 feet.
Okay.
It turned out to be, it made the vendors very happy because it was really difficult to maneuver the sidewalks in the old days when they faced the businesses.
Sure.
And I understand why the businesses would kind of have a knee-jerk reaction to that because people weren't walking along the sidewalks anymore. But there's so much access, you can still get to the businesses. I know somebody wrote me an email and said, well, you've closed off the sidewalks. No, we haven't closed off the sidewalks.
They are not closed off.
No, they're not. Everything is open.
Right. Okay. It's just one of those things that you hear, and obviously, I'm not sure if you know this, but like no matter what decision you make, not everybody's going to be happy.
Exactly.
Were you aware of that?
Yeah, kind of.
You didn't get any feedback. But you have a lot of people to make happy. You have to make all the vendors happy. You have to make the people in the street happy. You have to make the customers happy. There's a lot of people that...
Well, that's the interest. I'm glad you brought that up because that's the interesting point into what the farmers market does. We need to satisfy the village that we're bringing in people to the area. We need to satisfy our business sponsors and our local businesses. We need to satisfy our shoppers, and we really need to keep our vendors happy.
Yes.
So it's something you juggle every day.
Sure, and anything you do, like any business you run into all those things.
Right.
Since we're talking about non-for-profit and sponsor things, our sponsorships filled up. If somebody's listening right now and is like, I want to be a sponsor of the farmers market.
Oh, we'll never turn down sponsorship. And there's
right.
There's different levels of sponsorship. This year we were really pleased to welcome City Chevrolet, who's now come in as a proud Ruby sponsor.
They've done a really good job of getting involved in the community.
Yes, Dan and his marketing team are just absolutely super.
That's fantastic to hear.
And that was a big boost, Ruby sponsorship. In the past we've had Northwestern and we've had North Shore, which is now Endeavor.
Okay.
I guess they're going to endeavor to make you better. Anyway,
Sure.
And it was disappointing when they pulled their sponsorship because they're a huge part of the community. And one of the things for sponsorship is that you get to know the people that visit your hospitals. You can pass on medical information, but we couldn't get them back this year. So.
Wow. Sponsors by City Chevrolet is one of the big ones. Any other shout outs you want to do for
Oh,
for
exactly, I do. Linda is always there. Randy Cashmore.
Hey, Bubba. Bubba's right down the hallway here.
He is. The people, Bose, Center Cut, Emails, the Chamber. We've got Center Church, the Daily Herald, D. Wells Automotive, which is in Gurney, that reached out and said, we'd like to sponsor your market.
Awesome.
Great Lakes Credit Union, Jamie Herring, she's always good for sponsorship. My husband owns a company called Native Restoration Services. He's a sponsor. He's also Farmer Gray. I'm not sure if you're aware of Farmer Gray. He's our living icon. We've got state banks. New this year is Sapling School, and shout out to Sweet Caroline. They're new this year too.
That's awesome. What a great way to get involved in the community.
Exactly right. If you're new and you want to expand your business,
right,
come out and meet people.
Yeah, and you know what? It is a great way to meet people. Because I came down and shot a stupid video with you. When did I call you feisty? By the way, did I call you feisty?
That was in your conversation with Linda.
I've always enjoyed you because I love people that are spirited. Anybody that I can come with, and I didn't know you from anybody, and I started screwing with you, and you give it right back to me. I'm like,
there you go.
I like this woman.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, this is somebody I could be friends with right here. But for you to be able to do that, and I'm sure that gets to be long days with all the preparation that goes into in the summertime, like every Wednesday, like what time do you get out of there and what time do you leave? There's a lot.
We start at 1. And we probably wrap up by the time the last vendor pulls out about 8.
Oh my gosh, that's a long day.
Well, it's interesting because the bulk of our work is setting up tents, setting up barricades, clearing the street.
Right.
Ever since the situation in Highland Park,
yep,
we are uber safety conscious.
Okay.
So we changed our whole barricade system.
Hey neighbors, this is Bill Mock with the Grayslake Chamber of Commerce. And if you're looking for a network of hard-working, customer-focused, and generally friendly local businesses who are dedicated to helping each other succeed, then I'd like to invite you to check out and consider joining our Grayslake Chamber. We offer our members so many ways to advance their businesses through social networking events, special event sponsorships, informative lunch and learns, and the ever-popular after-hours mixers. Come see why we say we're the new wave of business here in Lake County.
Looking for a place where there's always something happening? Welcome to the Grayslake Village Center. Whether you're planning a family outing, a date night, or a fun night out with friends, the Village Center has something for everyone, year-round. Enjoy a fantastic mix of restaurants, unique retail shops, and exciting events that bring the community together. And just steps away, you'll find Central and Gelatin Parks, home of the library, aquatic center, skate park, senior center, and numerous recreational opportunities. Whew, that's a mouthful. So if you're looking for something to do, come explore, dine, shop, and play right here in the heart of Grayslake. Find out more at grayslakevillageCenter.com. And go check them out on social media and give them a like, give them a follow.
Make sure nobody drives through.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, that was crazy. Well, no, and for the most part, I mean, it seems like it goes off with a hitch without a bunch of problems. It seems like your biggest problem is the weather.
Oh, right? Please. Yeah, but I think we've capped it now at if it's 100 degrees, forget about it. We're not doing it. But you'd be surprised how many of our vendors still want to come out.
I bet.
And we have shoppers out. This year we're going to put up signage that says, please don't bring your dog out in 100-degree weather.
Yes. But dogs are welcome to walk through the market.
We love our
dogs.
Just
not after, like...
They come and greet us. We know them by name. We watch them grow up since puppies.
That's hilarious.
We wait every market for the Leon Burgers to show up.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
I have.
Oh, they're wonderful.
That's wonderful. Okay, I want to... we spoke a little bit before we started recording, but... I'd love to hear success stories like on when people come in, maybe that they're just starting a business or give the farmers market a try to get their business. And we were talking about one, so let's talk about one cool success story.
It's a shout out to Michael at Bake Share. Michael started at a fall market, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. He was baking pies. He had a cottage license, baking pies at home. 24 hours a day to try to come to the market. And the first time he came, he was just so nervous. But I'm all for giving a newbie a shot. Test it out, see what kind of product they have.
Yeah.
And look at Michael now. He's across the street at Bakeshire doing wonderful things for the community, fundraising.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Funnier than...
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I was going to say he was a really boring and not very friendly person.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I remember when he left the first market, he'd sold out like in an hour. And he said, I just don't know what I just did. And then he grew from there. But we've had, some people may remember Nana's Rum Cakes. They have their own business. Cindy Petite Sweets has her own business. I'm gonna forget somebody.
That's okay. Well, we're gonna forgive you if your name isn't shout out here. But
yeah, forgive you. I know who you are, and
yes.
I'm glad you became successful.
Yes. And hey, just right now, just anybody that's listening to this podcast right now, when you're done with this one, go look back and search up Michael, because Michael's show was awesome. The extraordinary man with great stories, as full of shit as anybody that I've ever met, and another guy that I absolutely love.
We get in each other's face all the time just to laugh.
I bet he's called you feisty too.
Oh, more than that.
That's great. But so throughout these years, you've probably made some really good friendships with these people.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pasture Perfect. They sold meat. They had Annie, the service dog, and another service dog, Mima's Jam. They are retiring. They retired at the end of last year. But we met them in 2007. We've gone to see the eclipse together, and they become super friends of ours.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was nice.
Especially after doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Right.
All
right. So what else do you do personally? Like what is your? Do you have I always do the air quotes. Do you have like a real job that you do?
Not anymore.
Okay.
No, my husband and I both of us traveled consistently for business. We were all over the United States traveling separately with separate jobs. When I trained for Chrysler, I was in Canada a lot. And so we don't want to get on airplanes. So we take rides. We'll go up to the Mississippi River or up to Green Bay or just right around the farm country. When I get a new farmer in, I'll drive by and check him out.
That's really cool.
So that's what we do for fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, is he out helping out with the farmers market every week?
Yeah, well, he's getting up there. So, yes, he's still around. He helps me do setup on the weekends. Mm-hmm. He comes to the farmers market on Wednesdays. About a lot of years ago, 2009, when Pam Navarm still had the market, they were looking for an icon. And he was sitting next to me on the sofa, and I said, yeah, I think I got your farmer. He spent time on a farm when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. So he's become our Farmer Gray. He's got a crazy hat. People look at him like he's some drunk old man running around. But the kids like him. In the early days, the kids liked him.
Right. No, that's fun. Okay, let's talk about some other things that are at the market, because I like to approach things like, I know that people are listening right now that are probably your loyal people that are at farmers market all the time. Yes, and it's awesome to have that kind of support, right? But for people that aren't familiar, let's talk about some other things that go on there, from bringing your kids there to do things while you're shopping, some other highlights of the market.
Yes, we're pet friendly, we're kid friendly. In the plaza area, we call it the plaza. It's basically at the corner of Center and Whitney. It's kind of goes off on an L.
Yep.
So we have Ernie, our keyboard entertainer. He's got hula hoops for the kids. We have face painting, balloon art. And then the restaurants with their great music and places to sit.
Right.
Cool place to come.
And not places to stand, though. There are places to stand there as well.
Yes, of course.
But through that. But like Ernie, like doing the music and the hula hoops for the kids, like that is a saving grace for how many parents to be like, I just want to do some shopping.
That's it.
Kids, go down there, be entertained for a little while.
And we feel it's a secure area for the kids. It's in the plaza area. Ernie's a great babysitter.
Right.
He's a lot of fun. He's been with, I think Ernie's probably as long-term as Farmer Nick's has been. And when I came on board, and maybe he came on board in 2008.
Okay. And cool that you say that, because one thing that a lot of pride that I take in our town, or I like to call my town, is that I think we still have a place where it's safe to let our kids walk around on a Wednesday there. to let my 7-year-old walking around with his sister to walk around. It's a safe place to be.
Yeah, and our vendors are very conscious. If there's somebody kind of spooky walking in the background, they'll let me know.
Right. That's like me.
Like you.
Right.
Somebody's selling pot off the street. We got rid of that quick.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But all of us are on watch to keep those kids safe.
Yes. Well, that's great. And then the people watch out for it because it is a family. It's a community.
And we want to keep it that way.
Right.
We had a vendor once we had to get rid of. He was wearing a kilt, and we discovered there was nothing underneath.
When you say discover,
I don't want to tell you that, but he's gone. He was here the minute that kilt flew up. We got rid of him by the end of the evening.
That's great. All right, so people that are coming to, let's talk about the variety of things that are there, because I think when I think farmers market, maybe I think just produce, or what do people think of a misconception that they're missing?
Well, we vet our farmers and our vendors. So if somebody applies to the market, we have an online registration system. Registration opens in January. So if it's a new vendor that comes in, I'll do all kinds of research to make sure they fit our environment. Mm-hmm. So no offense to the knitters out there, but hand knit toaster covers you won't find at the farmers market. Okay. There's products that really belong in a craft show. But we've, aside from our farmers, with the fruits and vegetables, we've got mushroom growers, flower growers. Then we add what I call value added, so products that you can buy to enhance the purchases you've made at the market.
Sure.
So we have olive oil. We have Glenn's Family Winery has been a sponsor with us for a lot of years.
Yes.
So you can wine. We've got a couple cheese vendors, great artisan bakers. This year in our plaza area, we're going to have a lady selling pierogies, kolaczkis.
Nice.
And we've got the lumpia lady. She's been with us. We've seen lumpia lady. She's
sure
everywhere. We've got Cindy's Petite Sweets, who's selling sandwiches aside from her pastries. Tasty vending with grilled corn, kettle corn, those types of things. Oh, and we have two wonderful guys. One is Azteca Catering, so if you're looking for ceviche, guacamole, salsa, and then next to him is Mr. Cilantro, who's got phenomenal tacos and burritos.
I really like him, by the way.
In the spring, I'm telling you, the first spring market, he'll be there, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, they're lining up for that breakfast burrito.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. So if I'm down there is an opportunity to get food.
Oh, yeah, we've got Three-Legged Brewing, we've got Apologetic Coffee, food, drink, lemonade.
Nice. And there's stuff for the kids, too. That's what I always like to.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to keep everybody busy like that.
Everybody snow cones.
Yes, that's what I'm going to say. When my kids disappear, I know that they're coming back with face paint, hula hoops, and snow cones.
There you go.
Right. But, I mean, what else do we need?
And it's free. What else could you ask for?
Right. So as far as we talked about sponsor space, that there's always sponsor space available. So are you completely full for vendors for this season coming up? By the way, we're recording this in 2025, in the spring of 25.
There you go. I'm still looking for a few more farmers. Last year was very bad for the farmers. The Marai corn, that's Piscasaur Gardens. They used to be Twin Gardens that bring the corn in. He was down. He lost 25% of his corn last year.
Oh, wow. That's terrible.
Our local farmers were down with tomatoes, vegetables. It was just a very bad growing season.
Really?
Even Wayne Miller, who comes in from Michigan with his fruits, he was down. So they're coming back. I hope it's going to be a great growing season for them this year.
Yeah, and that's great because I'm sure that plays a part in everything, right? It takes all the way around.
It's a farmers market.
Right. My gosh. So how would, other communities that have farmers markets, is there a lot of competition with farmers markets? Do you have it? Is that any of your concern when you do your marketing and everything?
We check it out. There's different kinds of farmers markets, so we kind of gear ours to who our market traffic is. Okay. So there's other farmers markets that might be in a remote area that are solely farmers markets. So everybody's got their own take on things. A lot of it is based on what their environment is. Our biggest competitors, Kenosha Harbor.
Okay.
They're a destination. How could you not want to go to the lake? So they're a very big market. They probably have 150 vendors. To the other side of that, there's Crystal Lake. Mm-hmm. Crystal Lake is at the Dole Mansion.
Yes.
And they've got rolling margarita carts. So
yeah, that doesn't hurt anybody, I'm sure.
No, it doesn't. So they're
Right.
a party market.
Wow. Okay. Well, everybody's got their different niche.
Vendors don't just come to one market. So we have a lot of vendors that come in from Kenosha, from Milwaukee, that are at Dole and Crystal Lake. So they have their own circuit.
Right.
And so word of mouth, we get a lot of new vendors that come in from them knowing other markets.
Right. And I'm sure after people tell a couple good success stories about how great the Grayslake Market is, I'm sure that they're like, we need to be a part of that.
And you know what? We really do our best to promote their businesses.
Right.
We're very active on Facebook.
Yes, you definitely are.
And, the other thing you talk about, events for people at the market, we work in really close with the Park District, the Historical Society. Have you had Shar on for an interview?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No. I would say that Charlotte and I are very good friends at this point. Yes. And we exchange Facebook messages on the daily, too.
I'm sure you do.
Yes. And one of the most inspiring things I've heard and realized that how sharp she is and how many stories she knows, and we just scratched the surface like in an hour and a half together.
I know, she's a phenomenal woman. So we've got the Historical Society that comes out, the library will come out. I'm going to miss somebody. The village is uber helpful in promoting all the events at Grayslake.
Yes. Well, it is part, and your event, and your, not even event because it's a weekly thing, it's a staple of our town. It's something that everybody knows.
I heard a statistic, but it might have changed. A couple years ago that the market was the fourth reason people bought a home in Grayslake.
Really?
Now, the flip side of that, there's people that have lived here all their life that don't know the market exists.
Well, hopefully some after listening to this will know some more.
It's probably whether you come to Center Street or not.
Truth. Yeah, because some people just don't do it.
And we advertise.
Yes.
We're on the Patch, we're in the Daily Herald, Village Promotions, but...
Yes. The only thing that I ever talk crap about you is that as soon as I cross, because I drive through Center Street like on the daily, like a lot, and as soon as I cross the train tracks, I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday. I'm like, now I need to go, oh boy, I need to go 2 blocks out of my way in my car, it's such a big deal.
The buses do it okay, everybody else should.
Oh, that's right. See? Yeah, so
Fire
don't complain.
department, they live with it.
Right. No, and it's good. And it's all part of what makes our town, like everybody talks like, we have this hallmark town that do everything. But during a farmer's market, it is a big point of doing things.
It is a super place for the community to get together.
Yes.
Super place.
Absolutely. Okay, so how many podcasts have you listened to? I mean, I know obviously you listen to Linda's at Something's Brewing.
Probably about 10 of them.
10?
Yeah.
Okay, which has been your favorite so far? Not, you can't say Linda.
Why not?
Because that's the only one I know that you've listened to. Because now you have to go home and listen to Charlotte's.
And I have to go listen to Michael.
Oh, and Michael's too. Yeah, he's a hoot. That was actually a really fun one.
Yeah.
The coolest thing is, like, I didn't know Michael from anybody. You imagine not knowing anything about Michael Woolner and sitting down with him and being like, I leave here going, what in the hell just happened? He's just great and fun. But I learned about pies. I learned about how he started to make pies. I learned everything about, like,
he is just an absolute joy. Well, I just love it when he starts the market.
I think it's great. Well, the first person you should go say hi to, and do not be afraid to go up to him and say hello.
Right.
So my point in asking about how many you've listened to is that we pause about halfway through just to make sure that we do a thing called the Grayslake Hot Seat.
The Grayslake Hot Seat is brought to you by Joe Velez at JPV Financial. It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Now for the Grayslake Hot Seat. Hey, thanks, Joe.
where we have some rapid fire questions just to learn a little bit more about you.
Okay.
All right. You signed the waiver out front, right, when you
No.
came in? Okay, good, because we don't have one. So just right off the hip I'll start easy for you. How about that?
Remember, I have no filter. Go
Right,
ahead.
exactly. And we have so far I have nothing I have to edit out of here because this show with you and I talking could have been called like the F-bomb special, but we're staying away from that today. We both behaved ourselves. Okay. Tell me a place that you like to travel that you have not been yet.
I'd like to go to Italy.
Italy. Wonderful.
Italian heritage would be fun to go back.
Nice. Tell me something, except for Italy, do you have something on your bucket list that you really want to do that you haven't been able to do?
I want to see the Northern Lights. I go chasing the Northern Lights. Remember last year?
Yes. And I never saw them here.
I didn't either. So I want to see the Northern
I
Lights.
saw enough pictures on Facebook saying, hey, everybody go outside.
The one from the police station, it was phenomenal. And it was like, well, where was I?
I know.
I was home.
I know. I don't know how we didn't see it.
We've gone to both of the eclipses. That was a wonderful event,
Yeah.
a wonderful experience.
Very cool. Northern Lights is on the bucket list, though.
It's on the bucket.
And you know what? I think if you're going to see the Northern Lights, you can't see them in Grayslake. Like, you need to go somewhere and see
Yeah,
them.
and you can't. You got to drive for miles.
Yeah, it's fine. You have the time.
Yeah,
Right. Just not on a Wednesday. What's the last thing you Google searched?
Pregnant pause.
How about the last thing you bought on Amazon?
Herbal supplement.
Herbal supplements. Okay. If you had to have a superpower, what would it be? She's really thinking about
Another
this.
pregnant pause. Super legs.
Super legs.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking at the market.
Okay, good. What was the first car you ever had?
First car I ever... No, let me go back to the first car I ever drove.
Okay, let's do that.
I had a sister who was 9 years older than me, who was always in trouble. Always. Stealing the car. So my mother wouldn't let me drive her car until I was 21. And it was a Thunderbird.
Really?
Yep.
Do you have any idea what year Thunderbird was?
No, I don't.
Approximately. Because some of those Thunderbirds are really cool.
Oh, it was a really cool one.
Yeah. But not till 21.
Until I was 21.
Wow.
She was a hellion.
So you probably don't think that's a terrible idea at 21 for driving, though. But kind of a cool car to do. Do you remember what a first concert that you ever went to?
You know, I don't like huge crowds, so I'm going to date myself and say Neil Diamond.
Okay. No, that'd be great. I'd still go see Neil Diamond.
Yeah, they were all that people's hair is blue, purple, and gray, but it was a fun time.
That's really funny. Have you ever eaten a roller dog from a gas station?
No.
Just no. With all the road trips you're taking, I figured that maybe, at some
Quick Trip
point.
is our favorite.
Okay.
We have a Quick Trip at 83 and 50. They know us, and we call it super dining, so we go in there and get a cheap hot dog. We sit at the table. We have a good time.
So what you do you do eat hot dogs there, though?
Yeah.
Or the roller dog.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's roller dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Last time I ate one, yesterday.
Really? See? I usually judge people I want to be friends with if they eat roller dogs.
Oh.
And the second one has to be the other criteria to be a friend of mine. I was like, what do you think the chance that Bigfoot exists?
Anything's possible.
I like that. 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
9.
Okay. She's not good. Did you play a sport or were you in a club or anything in high school?
In high school, I was in the choir, drama club,
And where did you grow up?
southeast side of Chicago.
Oh, no wonder you and Robin.
Linda.
Linda
and I it was interesting listening to her about how she grew up. I had similar experiences with the times and how things were changing.
Interesting. We're going to come back to a little bit of that. Besides the farmers market, what is your favorite Grayslake event to attend?
Well, it's kind of difficult to say this because the farmers market goes on. Halloween is just a hoot.
Right.
We have no business during the Halloween trick-or-treating because everybody's trick-or-treating. But we love it. Farmer Gray sits out there and hands out candy like crazy.
Oh, see, that would be great.
Yeah, it is.
That would be really cool.
So after the market, before the event and after the event, people will come into the market. But there's so many kids dragging their parents down the street, they don't even know the market's there.
Right.
But that is my favorite event. And last year we had a friend in from Australia who was just like, I saw the expression on his face. I don't know what was more fun, watching him watch this or watching the Halloween event. I loved it. And it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yep.
And this year, Mary Beth from the Chamber and I are still trying to get a group that will come out to do the Michael Jordan dance, Thriller.
Oh, Michael Jackson, yes.
Michael Jackson. Wouldn't that be...
I think we can make that happen.
We need a call out to anybody out there that wants to get a group together to do the Thriller dance.
I think
we can get everybody involved.
Right down
She
Center
did
Street.
that for St. Patrick's, the parade. I think she had Irish dancers in this.
They did have Irish dancers.
So we want to do the same thing with Thriller.
Yeah. Hey, and just a quick shout out to the Chamber and Mary Beth. They were worried about how many people they were going to have at the St. Patrick's Day parade, and what an awesome event.
It was, and I really give kudos to Mary Beth. She and I work closely. They're a sponsor of the market, and she just does fun things.
Yeah, not only do they do a great job, but very, very great people in general.
Exactly.
Just out to help, and they're really looking out for the best for the community.
Big change.
I like it. My God, yes, that is for sure. Do you have a go-to karaoke song? I could see you doing karaoke. Are you singing in your head right now?
I can't. Pass.
You're going to pass.
Buzzer pass.
Okay, buzzer pass. Tell me about the second time that you got arrested.
I've never been arrested.
Right. This means you've never been caught.
No.
I mean, you behave yourself. You follow the rules.
Listen, I was raised Catholic. And if I didn't face my mother's wrath, it would have been the nun's wrath. So there was no...
Right. So you just stay straight and narrow.
That's it.
I almost believe that about you, just so you know.
I remember I was in 3rd grade, and I was a minute late to get back to school from lunch. And I opened the doors to the school, and it was a big stairwell, and there was Mother Superior standing at the top of it. As a result, I am never late. Scared me to death. I still see that. It was 2nd, 3rd grade.
Very impressionable. That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
I like that. That's why you're never late, because of Mother Superior.
That's it.
Fill in the blank. A bartender, can I have a...
Bloody Mary.
Nice. I like that. I could hang out and do that. Tell me something that you wish that you learned sooner in life.
Maybe tolerance.
Tolerance?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mine would be patience, I think, too. Because I think patience and tolerance kind of...
Oh, you're right. Yep.
Kind of go along just a little bit. I still have none of... I have neither.
I run out of patience.
Right. And last one, if you had to have a theme party at your house, what would the theme be?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You didn't even have to think about that for 1 second.
That's
great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, well, thank you for playing along with that. So tell me some other things. Like anytime I do a show, I think I told you too, like, what are some of the most common questions that you get? So if somebody's listening, and I'm sure people ask, do you do this, do you do that, whatever. Some common questions that people ask you about the market that we can clarify to everybody right at this moment.
The market opens June 4th, and everybody wants to know where the corn is.
Knee high by the 4th of July.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, that's probably a lot of it. And the farmers that are there that early, some of it's grown in tunnels. They're growing it now.
Really?
And then other comes from, the vendors will go either have farms farther south Did you know spring travels 14 miles a day?
No.
Yes. Okay. Or
Spring travels 14
miles a day.
miles a day. Okay. I'm writing that down.
So daffodils might be blooming down in Cairo. They're just popping up here. And some of the farmers will we had a farmer that drove down to Georgia to get the peaches. And they visited all the local farmers down there and then brought it back by the truckloads.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. So,
other than that, you won't get any produce.
Right.
Because it's too early in the season.
Okay. So when do we expect corn at the market then? Somebody's
August.
like
Mid-August.
All right. Mid-August. Okay. So that's probably one of the biggest questions.
Well, the Marai corn. You can get corn. Again, it's going to come in from the south.
Okay. Other questions that people have when they come in, or like, does the market have this, or do you have anything like that?
Where's the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom?
There you go. Where's the bathroom?
Porta potties.
And well, we had to during COVID. Our market sponsors have been very generous with the use of the bathrooms in the restaurants.
Right. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a good question. Anything else like that?
No.
No? Like, where's the beer tent? Wait, there's 7 bars that we can go
Yeah,
to just to walk in and whatnot. I think we should have open carry alcohol during the market. That's just would be my suggestion. I think that I should have a beer and I should be able to walk around downtown.
But that's interesting because that's a big deal with the village. That's permit and
right.
Some of them have a permit to be able to have people walk out with.
Right.
Because like Glun's with winery, they'll have tasting, but they don't sell wine.
Correct.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services. Personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't saying that it was going to be easy to do. I just think that I should be able to do it.
Well,
I mean, I may just do it anyway.
Well, exactly right. Put it in a styrofoam cup. We don't know.
We do not condone that, but we can't control
what am
people.
I gonna say?
Right. We can't control people at all. Okay, so now I'm not sure exactly when this is going to air. So market opens
April 12th.
April 12th, and that will run every Wednesday.
No, April 12th. We have 2 different markets. We have our spring and fall market. That's Saturdays.
Okay.
So the spring market opens Saturday, April 12th, goes to May 31st, 10 to 2.
Okay.
Summer market opens Wednesday, June 4th, runs to September 24th on Wednesdays, 3 to 7. And then we go right into the fall market, which is then September 27th to December 14th.
Wow. Okay, so the Saturday markets isn't all of downtown. Saturday markets
just in the plaza area.
In the plaza area, which is Whitney
we
and Center.
irritate the businesses enough. We don't need to block the street on Saturday.
Just to get everybody doing. So I think that what I've taken out so far is the community. The ways that we can really help are A, is we attend and we support the market, and get your car off the street.
Let's read the sign already. I don't know how much bigger I can make them.
I think that we should do that. That would be a thing just to videotape and what are the best excuses except for I didn't know it was Wednesday.
Didn't know it was Wednesday.
What else?
Didn't see the sign.
Didn't see the signs.
I'm a taxpayer.
Oh, you're a taxpayer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad all the taxpayers don't park down there.
There you go.
Okay.
And again, we understand, but it's about safety.
Right.
We're trying to keep our vendors safe during setup. It's safety.
Right. You're not just being jerks. You have a job to do. You want everybody safe when they bring stuff in.
I can be a jerk, but
no.
Oh, a quick story about myself. It's embarrassing, but it's kind of funny in retrospect. So we have a vendor, and they send somebody new, and big truck pulls in before the barricades are up. and he's blocking people that are trying to get out of their parking spaces, and I keep telling him to move. My voice was getting louder, and he proceeded to tell me I couldn't talk to him that way, which doesn't make any difference to me. He called the police on me.
How'd that work out?
Well, the policeman came and he said to the guy, "Why do you want her arrested?" "Well, she's a nuisance."
Wow.
So he looked at me and said, "What's the story?" I said, "I'm the market manager. He needs to move his truck." And that's how it ended.
Wow. Okay, so like nice and easy.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm sure that through all this time with everybody, and everybody has their agenda, and I know a lot of people live inside their heads of whatever they need to do is the most important thing on the planet, and they don't worry about what other people have to think. But you obviously have your rules, and you're set up things for a reason.
Yeah, probably. If you ask the vendors, I'm really rule driven.
Yeah.
I love them. I will do anything for them. Just the rules are there for a reason.
Right. And you put everything together for that, and if they follow them, then I'm sure they do it once, or you get told once, and then everything moves on smoothly.
It's very interesting to watch. Ernie, the keyboard entertainer, made the comment. But when you stand at the end of the street and you watch takedown, and it's the smoothest takedown and setup because everybody knows what to do and the rules are in place.
Right.
There's no chaos.
Right. And obviously that's the reason that they're there, just to make it nice and easy for everybody.
There you go.
Do you have any other fun farmers market stories for me? Like any chaotic or anything funny that has happened?
I have to go back through so many years I can't pull one out of my head.
Right.
They're just all enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think that the nicest thing for us, because we're a team, there's 5 of us, they're there doing setup, takedown, part of the board. We sit in the friends tent.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know we're there, but there are a lot of people that will stop and say thank you. And that means everything. And it's really interesting because I stand at the market with an orange baseball cap on for 37 weeks and nobody knows me. But that's okay because they came for the market.
Right. And you get to observe and see how smoothly and everything runs, right?
That's right.
Right. And people know who you are.
I imagine.
I know who you are. I just go to stalk you down just to find out what's going on. No, but that's great though. But because now it's a staple for all of these things. Do you see anything moving forward to the future, like plans that you want to change, you'd make any improvements that people that you would like to see?
Well, I'm going to say this cautiously. The village has a great vision for downtown.
Yeah.
So my thing is, like Center Cut's putting up a new patio, so that rearranges everything for the market. And we've got to make sure everybody still fits and we can accommodate everybody. What do I see for the future? People have asked whether we would expand the market. Probably not, because you can only have so many people selling donuts.
Right.
So we have to keep the number manageable and the right balance of bakers to everybody else.
Sure. No, and that goes with everything. We talk about everything from even a food truck festival where one year it's great and then the next year they go and they have twice as many things. So once you spread that competition or too many of the same things, you take away the integrity of things.
And the interesting thing, I've tried to have food trucks in there.
Right.
We still have Lumpia. She has a trailer. It's not successful on Wednesdays. I don't know why. I've tried.
Yeah.
But these food trucks have really big overheads. So if you see them, go out and support them. But they don't have enough business to sustain themselves at the market.
Sure.
Because there's so many other restaurants around.
Right, exactly. And it's nice that what you're doing is you're bringing, people into town to support the restaurants too,
Right.
which is great.
Right.
I laugh when I walk around and some of the things like from honey to pickles to
Exactly right.
like
jam,
like all of these things that
soap made out of goat's milk from that lady's farm. Soap of the earth. She does. She has a goat farm, and she's been doing that for years. When I first met her, she was making her soap in her barn. I think she's just got new buildings now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so another success story. That you
Yeah,
get
it
to
is
see
another
like that.
success story, yeah.
Wow.
Mavra's Greek Oil. I just shared her Facebook post. They own an olive grove in Greece. So they'll pick all of the olives. They ship the olive oil directly to her establishment in Kenosha.
How awesome is that?
It is awesome.
That's a really cool story to
Right.
hear like that. And speaking of the things, when you talk about we're posting on things, so tell everybody, and we should talk about this earlier, but we'll obviously, if you saw this post on one of the socials, so where do people follow? Where do they get their information from? Facebook, Instagram? Where are you, and how do they find
Follow
you?
us on Facebook at Grayslake Farmers Market, and we have an awesome website, grayslakefarmersmarket.com. We post a market map. That's an automated generated map, so you know who's at the market that day and exact kind of where they are. We post that on Facebook. We post it on our website. We post our sponsors on our website. Please patronize their businesses.
Yeah.
We couldn't do the market without our sponsors.
Right. And it's funny for things like you do and things that we do like the show, like the sponsors, really make the world go round for us because we couldn't do it without that, right?
We can't do it without it.
That's for sure. Okay, what else does Grayslake and anybody else listening need to know about the farmers market?
I think you need to know that it's a great quality market. It's a great group of super vendors that have been with us a long time. We support each other, and it's just a fun day in downtown Grayslake.
I love it. All right. Well, Julie, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with
pleasure.
me. I think it's been fun, and everybody come out and visit.
It's it. Stop by and say hello. I'm always wearing an orange baseball cap.
I was going to say, look for the lady in the orange, the feisty woman with the orange hat. Exactly. There's other ways to find her, too. Right? Just send some smoke signals up. You'll be able to find her somewhere. So, Grayslake, thank you for listening, Julie. Appreciate your time,
Thanks
too.
much.
Grayslake, no matter where you're listening, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple, whether you're on YouTube, wherever you're at listening, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. That way, every Tuesday, you'll get an alert of a new episode and to get to meet somebody else from our community. And I really truly believe it helps build community when you get to know about people like we were talking about, like Michael from Bake Share. Like I like when people actually go and shop at businesses because they know their stories, and that means a lot. And I
They're
appreciate
real
everybody.
hardworking people.
Right, and they're real people that make bring the fabric of our community.
That's
right?
exactly right.
And as I always end, we never know what our friends, family, or even strangers on the street are going through. So people have bad days. So do me a favor and get out there and do 1-2 different random acts of kindness today, whether it's just smiling at somebody or opening the door for somebody or waving somebody through in traffic and or moving your car before 2 p.m. on a Wednesday.
1:30.
Before 1:30.
You'll hear the whistle.
Right. Like those kinds of random acts of kindness. Just and kindness spreads like wildfire. So get out there and take care of it. So Grayslake, once again, thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. And we'll see everybody at the farmers market.